Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Us Known Classics. This is episode number 3406 and Doubleshot 3300. Yep, we have a Boom Studios trade and a Dark Horse trade. First that we have is the penultimate trade for Disney's Darkwing Duck. Yeah. Volume 4, Campaign Carnage. Yep. And in this particular one, now one thing I've really loved about this series from Boom Studios is the obvious Disney references that the writer throws in here. This book collects from the Darkwing Duck comic book issues 13 to 16 of the comic book. And I think they even threw in the annual. Yeah, they threw in like an annual for this one. We have a Darkwing Duck annual, which is called Toy Me and Ultimate. So Ian Brown does the opening story of Darkwing Duck Annual. Campaign Carnage is also by him too. James Savini does the artwork for that one. The artwork for the annual is of Sabrina Abergy, and that's the opening story told with me. The Ultimate Terror of Timely Turtle is James Savini as well. So, the cover here is, well, it's the artist doing homage to The Killing Joke. Yep, because people love doing homages to Killing Joke. So basically we have what looks like to be somebody, looks like Quagmire, where he is just reliving his glory days. He turns people into toys, and it's a sick fantasy of his, so you could say this is him wrapping up his time with the book. And we go to Wolfencraft, and Darkwing does his own thing here, and apparently the family really knew each other. Similar, yeah, and then of course the whole doll thing. Then Darkwing just spooks him, and then he just transforms himself into a toy by the end of the story because he felt like it. And then we have the Ultimate Terror of the Time Turtle, which is a Goslin Duck story. Yes, Goslin Duck. Yep. Yeah, it goes like back in there. We see a duck who's a clock. Like it's a clock, like the clock game from DC. It's like going through time, and then we wrap this real quickly, and then we have Darkwing pointing his gun at the cover. Not sure what this is a homage to. Yeah, this I don't know what it's a homage to. The annual, obviously, what it is. This one I'm not sure. So the whole thing of this one is that during the course of the story, Darkwing and Launchpad sort of have a falling out, so they have basically competing each other for the mayor of, well, St. Canard, which then they reconcile, and Launchpad wins, and then basically stuff falls apart after being mayor for 5 minutes. And there's a surprise ending for this one. So we have a fortune teller. Now, is there going to be Easter eggs here? Well, yes, there is. So it's like, throw stuff. The pitcher throws up the monkey pitcher, throws it at the catcher. First, it's a fish, and then it's a blender, a banana, a toilet brush, and a Dalmatian. Obviously, Lucky from 101 Dalmatians. Yeah, there's an Easter egg, and then the monkey taken away for being silly. Actually, I think he's like thrown out. The game summons a telephone with a bunch of stuff in it. Forms a picture of Darkwing Duck for some reason. And at first we have, their guest. And then we have, basically Goslin and Darkwing at their headquarters. And they slide down. By the way, his headquarters at this point in the book is still in the bridge. Like, why in the world they go back down despite the fact he has his own base at his own private residence? So, yeah, he battles the monkey here. And then all of a sudden, Darkwing's running for mayor. Yeah, this leads into stuff with him and Launchpad. So yeah, vote for Darkwing. And then we have... get this! A cat bodybuilder! Yes, a cat bodybuilder who wants Darkwing. And I'm like, it's the writer himself ripping off basically Amazing Spider-Man with this whole thing. We have a big bogey guy, obviously just ready to fall apart. And obviously reminds me of like the mayor, guy running for mayor in Amazing Spider-Man back in the 70s. Except, here's a weird thing. The guy running for mayor was the guy in the suit. Yeah, and we have a whole news debate thing. Of course, they battle each other. Who the cat is not really clear. And apparently they said if all over St. Canard. And then Darkwing's plane shows up. And then we have this mysterious person hiding in the globe. You think, oh, is this basically Darkwing's girlfriend? No, not really. You're probably thinking, watching this, like, where the heck is Darkwing's girlfriend? Good question. Because he doesn't even talk about his girlfriend. He doesn't want to, and all of a sudden we have Launch, obviously running for mayor. We have Doofus. Yes, that's seriously his name, Doofus. He's another friend of Gosling's, who basically is assisting Launch running for mayor. And then there's a scandal piece where some think Darkwing and Negaduck are the same person, despite the fact that a lot of people have seen them in public together. Yeah, it's a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, it's basically a smear campaign, and also they blame Darkwing for the stuff with the multiverse stuff. And then we have Launchpad singing at just the pants, wearing his pants, no shirt. Yep, and who the heck is under the mask per se? Is it Morgana? No. That'd be too obvious. Nope. The person in the mask, is it, like, who is it per se? Like, we find out who it is, and they reference, like, oh, the opening issues, and various stuff, how it look, and we finally find out who the heck this person is. And it's the reporter who's been smearing him. Yep. And then, of course, Launchpad wins. Chaos. And they're like, oh, we have this evil guy. And then we cut to, get this, Quackberg. Yes, Quackberg. Where, get this, where we see Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales. And then he brings in his great nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and his adopted great niece. And this leads into the amazing crossover between Darkwing Duck and DuckTales, which this crossover ends both series. But this book is awesome. Like, unless you like, here's the thing. Unless you're probably like, wait, what the heck is Scrooge McDuck doing here? Well, same universe. But this book was really good. Yep. And sounds like the very next book of this trade series will be the last one of Boom Studios, because the book ended. Now, currently the book is published by, you've been thinking, who publishes Darkwing Duck nowadays? Dynamite. Because they went to a different studio, not only several years after this, they went to apparently the same studio Frozen had their comics published. Not the really big stuff. I'll probably review that next for Darkwing Duck. But next time it's going to be the last review anything from Boom Studios, Darkwing Duck, because this book is just amazing. It clearly shows, reading this book, anybody reads this book, clearly see, not only the writer is a fan of Darkwing Duck, obviously, he is also a fan of old school Disney stuff, like Honey and Dalmatians, all their stuff. And here's the weird thing. This is what I guess, we're having Scrooge McDuck pop up in the very next storyline. If you notice, this whole entire book, there is no appearance in this book by any of the big Disney characters. There's no Donald Duck, Daisy Duck, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, or Goofy. These 5 big ones, they're not here. because it's not their comic book. It would be nice for a cameo per se, and it also clearly shows the fact the writer himself is a fan of like Crisis on Infinite Earths and old school classic storylines. Just check the book out. So next up we have is Miss Truesdale and the Fall of Hyerborea, written by Mike Mignola and artwork by Jess Largan. And this book is set in the Hellboy universe because Hellboy pops up a couple times in this book. He pops up on the covers, and he also appears in the present day because it's set in the past. By the way, this is a 4-issue series. You might be thinking, when the heck does this book take place? Well, 1883. So it's similar to the whole Baltimore stuff, where just a female type person where she's like a cave person, and you might think that she solves supernatural mysteries. Not really. At first, anyways. Then we see her in London, where she does do supernatural stuff, and she has connection to other people. And it's at sort of the same time period as Baltimore. Yep. Survivor Gray. Yeah. And it's a series of... It's basically a big adventure following two different people at two different times. And it's overall a really good book. I give the book roughly 8 out of 10. I still got more Mike Mignola books to go, but... yeah. So that's pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Next up we have is One Punch Man. And then because, well, I don't think I'll be able to start my brand spanking new anime before this year runs out. So I'm going to do a anime in 2025 review. Okay, next video. Bye.